Bye.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Can y'all hear me now? Sister Rhonda, can you hear me? All right. I'm talking about in the Zoom. Can you hear me, Sister Rhonda?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. All right. Can you speak again so I could? Shalom?
Shalom, shalom.
All right, I hear you. So that whole while I've been playing music and nobody heard nothing. I've been, the whole beginning of the show, I've been, for the whole 20 minutes, it's been nothing. It's just been silent. That's what y'all telling me? The whole beginning. I know you can hear me now, but the whole beginning of the show that I was playing music, y'all ain't hear me? You can't hear anything? That was my mistake. I made a mistake on that one. I had something muted and I didn't realize it. How's everyone doing? So y'all ain't hear my introduction or nothing? Okay, giving glory to the Most High God. Thought that I was meditating. Oh, man. All right, so giving glory to the Most High God, King of the universe, for all things and everything. Giving praise to the Most High King. And thanking the Most High God for my life, the life of all of you. I was asking y'all what y'all have for dinner, for Shabbat dinner. What did everyone have for Shabbat dinner out there? I'm over here playing music. I'm going in. I'm scratching, doing all types of stuff.
You're gonna have to do the whole set over.
Yo, I was over here thinking I'm in a groove. I was like, and the screen was frozen.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was over here going in. I had nice little selection. I felt good. That's bad. Where's
You just have to
Shaatiel
do
at?
the whole set over.
Where's Shaatiel at? We waiting for Shaatiel to get on. Shaatiel is, remember, he's 3 hours behind us, so right now, you know, the sun just went down over there, so he's probably having food with his family or whatever, so. I don't know if I could pull that with the same spirit. I don't know if I could pull it off with the same spirit. I feel like such a buffoon. I'm over here scratching. I'm doing I'm in my mode, and this is what happens to me. Let me see if I can relive this. Let me see if I can do it. I think I started with my brother Cypher. Man, and the people be waiting, and I'm out here playing games. I'm out here playing games. Here we go.
can rival ours. Brimstone and fire from heaven, giving these idle showers. They statues leaning like the Eiffel Tower. Y'all burnt the touchdown Jeepers to pieces and turned it into powder. Just placing emphasis on lane grading images to get clean and game get blown. Like Sega Genesis, be circumspect, say none of they names and never mention it. You work for y'all that very same day. It came with benefits, feed the poor every day. That's my 401k, deposit righteousness so mercy can be stored in my bank. Need to withdraw some faith to my Yah, I'm praying faithfully. So if you ain't praying to Yah, then please don't pray for me. Yo, I know they won't like this, but light is song for the righteous. Polish his soul just like Moses when Yahweh showed him his brightness. Think Tom Edison when it comes to the laws of Yah's guidance. Open his scrolls and his writings, all give me soul and enlightenment. Starting to let go of the vices that had control of my mindset. Was being cruel to myself, but Yahweh showed me his kindness. They want to close up your iris, I'm here to open your eyelids. Gotta stay focused, be vibrant. Don't shut the door, let the light in, let the light in.
In 2004, Ze'ev lost his brother to leukemia. The loss of his brother made him take a drastic turn. He rebelled.
Shut up and listen.
In 2015, Ze'ev's Abi left this earth. He adopted Lutheranism in an attempt to grow spiritually.
Shut up and listen.
I lost my IB at my weakest point. Funny, 2021, I still need this joint. I miss my brother, I lost him to leukemia. Used to play fight, I never won, he always beat me up. Remember spending time with him, mostly in his dying days. Though he served a graven image, he turned from his violent ways. Wish I could've kicked him more, picked his brain and showed him love. My 2 major males are gone, wish they could've met my son. Memories on body art, now I hate I stain my frame. Reminders of the past I lived, motivate me day to day. Try to keep long life, pray to y'all stay the same. Try to keep the fam together, everybody falling out. The open love isn't strong, but gossip running mouth to mouth. Evil's like a baby daddy, says running house to house. Try to teach them truth and scripture, but everybody love the cross. But irony is that most of love is lost. Living in captivity and still blessed, trying to get my family free from out this mess.
Most times I feel stressed.
Try to retire early, still oppressed. Gonna go crazy if I don't get this off my chest.
Most times I feel stressed.
Living in captivity and still blessed, trying to get my family free from out this mess.
Most times I feel stressed.
Try to retire early, still oppressed. Gonna go crazy if I don't get this off my chest.
Most times I feel
It's
stressed.
messed up, I had to carry a weapon for protection. Yah's my deliverance, but knowledge won't make you negligent. Don't fear getting robbed for my necklaces, but I'd be lying if I say I never fear getting killed over prejudice. That's prevalent. The 5 books of Torah is my medicine. Back when I was sinning, stolen still was my leverage then. The irony of being a stick-up kid is something crazy. I'm just hoping another Hebrew brother don't come and slay me. I did a lot of sisters real bad. Their karma full circle, I'm a real dad. Don't want another man tearing down my daughter, even though in my past that was my aura, was out of order. Paul bearer 7 times, thinking about the bodies laid. Pray to Yah's old age when I see my grave. I pray I die when I'm asleep, don't wanna think about my Isha when I leave.
Most times I feel stressed.
Living in captivity and still blessed, trying to get my family free from out this mess.
Most times I feel stressed.
Try to retire early, still oppressed. Gonna go crazy if I don't get this off my chest.
Most times I feel stressed.
Living in captivity and still blessed, trying to get my family free from out this mess.
Most times I feel stressed.
Try to retire early, still oppressed. Gonna go crazy if I don't get this off my chest.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yisrael hip hop, YAA. Yisrael hip hop,
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yisrael hip hop, YAA. Yisrael hip hop,
Wake up, Jacob. Let's go.
Yisrael hip hop, YAA. Yisrael hip hop,
Chill.
Yisrael hip hop, YAA. Yisrael hip hop.
now let's take a dive in history. Joab and Abner, granted many victories, banging on each other. Took their young soldiers, matter of fact brothers, handed them the sword instead of reading them the Torah. Let the young men play right before their eyes. Take care, sharp tools out, they seen their demise. Some would get shocked, but to me it's no surprise. Turn your heart against your brother, yeah, that curse is no lie.
Yisrael hip hop, YAA, Yisrael hip hop,
Yisrael, Yisrael, Yisrael,
Yisrael hip hop, YAA, Yisrael hip hop,
Yisrael, Yisrael, Yisrael,
Yisrael hip hop, YAA, Yisrael hip hop,
Yisrael, Yisrael, Yisrael,
Yisrael hip hop, YAA, Yisrael hip hop.
It started from some beef. King Saul, King Dawid. First it was brotherhood, then jealousy. Javelins thrown before mouths start to speak. Took his trusty men, cause in a hurry he had to flee. Dig deep thoughts when you really think about it. Old school moving, new school, the gray pits. Cycle seem it's never ending, but that's just Israel, we gonna break it. No faking, we're the chosen ones up in this matrix.
Yisrael hip hop, YAA, Yisrael hip hop,
Yisrael, Yisrael, Yisrael,
Yisrael hip hop, YAA, Yisrael hip hop,
Yisrael, Yisrael, Yisrael,
Yisrael hip hop, YAA, Yisrael hip hop,
Yisrael, Yisrael, Yisrael,
Yisrael hip hop, YAA, Yisrael hip hop.
You're the only one for me. You're the only one we need. When we pray to God and plead, that's when we start to succeed. Wake up, look in the mirror, be yourself. Don't let them blessings slip onto nobody else. Wake up, look in the mirror, be yourself. Don't let them blessings slip onto nobody else. How you gon' call on this name like that? Knowing that you faking on the game like that. Get into your God or you go rain like that. Looking at my people, I'm ashamed like that. In the midst of God's presence, make them hit the jets. When my mind will almighty, ain't no pigeon test. In tune with the Lord, let's reach a higher power. I ain't hearing no cries, pray a little louder. The pain of an Israelite leading people to get it right. But the arrogant minds is the religion of the evil life. Deaf, dumb, blind, without God is our way. That's why I always pray to God so I can see them better days. That's why I get into God's blessings, taking on all lessons. If you ain't with the crater, you drowning in your own depression. Silence is the key to our destruction, not the better life. Take wisdom by the hand and carry on, cause that's the better wife. You're the only one for me. You're the only one we need. When we pray to God and plead, that's when we start to succeed. Wake up, look in the mirror, be yourself. Don't let them blessings slip onto nobody else. Wake up, look in the mirror, be yourself. Don't let them blessings slip onto nobody else. How you gon' call on this name like that? Knowing that you faking on the game like that. Get into your God or you can rain like that. Looking at my people, I'm ashamed like that. I can't fake when I'm pushing on that route, I hit the brakes. Just believe me, in the world, it's your popping out like it's 3D. Feeding for that knowledge, bro, I'm greedy. You see me, it's your coming down the aisle. Please get out the way. Cause one me with our king, he clear past to lead us straight. You got the lawyer, brother, don't you gotta put him on. Attracted to the folly, but our minds is really gone. Got me singing unity, grabbing on and on. Living in the system of today. Gotta grind all the time, get on my knees and pray. Level up in God's ways, cause when you catch it in the rim, then you gon' see it pays. Got me hitting melodies, I'm feeling what I know. Pack up your stuff, yeah, break and rise, cause we on the go. We the real, this ain't just displaying a little show. When we guard the Lord, give us ability to grow.
Entangled within the battle between light and dark. I lost my focus, gather feelings, and then it all starts. Premeditated intuition, began as a bark. Embody hope of playing with sin, still play this part. It's darkness pitch you deep, oh no. How your spirit fill up with ether as it heals slow. I'm on my track when asking God to redeem me. Where are my good deeds? I'm trying to get God to see me. I'm on my flat line, playing tug-of-war in some bad times. In my mind, having lucid dream, that's a bad sign. Listen what I describe, can never cater to anger when God's on my side. God wisdom wants me to seek her, but my demons always mistreating her. Feel like an adolescent, reach for whoever will hold me, and God just makes it easier. I'm battling with my demons. That time I feel like I'm dreaming. I'm in between good and evil, I can't lose my soul. Analyzing my direction, let God take control. My innermost won't delete her. My evil wants me to be with her. Still abiding by the rules, my conscience was whole. Just keep on holding on to God and I won't lose my soul.
Yeah, just like that. You think you got it. You on the right path. Then that neighbor come and they try to pull you in another direction. Your demons pulling at your collar. And no matter how hard you try to clench the guard, sometimes they prevail.
I got these demons on my left and right. Like King Saul, I can't even lay my head at night. All this pressure got me thinking twice. Is this pain worth the price? It's telling me it's the better life. But sometimes I be thinking and it be out loud. And sometimes I just wonder if God with me now. Got my head spinning cause I'm dancing in. Look at my people, all I see is lust winning. Watch out them every scheming. Only if you knew just what I'm thinking. I can't full of fuck, got that spirit on me. Ain't thinking right, them demons living with me. I be trying to find God, it ain't clearing up. Yeah, the intent right in my face, my eyes is tearing up. But I'm trying to stay on the post, so I'm keeping my Torah close. I be trying to stay on 10 toes, so I'm praying I never fall, yeah.
I'm battling with my demons. That's how I feel like I'm dreaming. I'm in between good and evil, I can't lose my soul. Analyzing my direction, let God take control. My innermost won't delete her. My evil wants me to be with her. Still abiding by the rules, my conscience was whole. Just keep on holding on to God and I won't lose my soul.
Shalom, shalom, family. Welcome once again to Shabbat Night Talk. My name is Uzi Alewi. How is everyone feeling out there? I hope that everyone is feeling good. Hope that everyone is feeling blessed and not stressed. You know, I was looking at some stuff. I was looking at some new music. Let me turn this down a little. There'd be a lot of good music on YouTube, but you know the problem be a lot of. Can we hear what? Illusions.
Illusions, Chief. You don't got that track?
Yeah, I got
by
it.
Chev Levy and
Yeah,
Low Key Levy. It's called Illusions. It's old. It's like one of their first joints.
No, I got
Shabbat
it.
Shalom.
I got it.
That joint is fire, and I think it's perfect for the moment, especially after that last song you played about demons. A lot of us have demons we don't be wanting to face or deal with. We try to run away. But before we get into the talk, let me send my peace and love to my sister Rhonda, Sister Love. What's good,
Shabbat
Sister
Shalom.
Love?
Shabbat Shalom. How are you? How was your week?
Yeah. My week wasn't as good as that fruit cup you got. Come on, take that bite. We caught you right in the middle of that.
It's one more bite left. Let me get it.
Yes, pomegranates. And you did that on camera. You a real one, sis. You took that bite on camera. That's love.
Yeah, I'm country.
Pomegranates, that's the fruit that Eve gave Adam was a pomegranate. That's what I heard.
That's the word.
That's what I heard. Eve gave Adam a pomegranate.
You making that. Don't listen to that stuff. Don't listen to that stuff, Rhonda.
About to start
it wasn't an apple. It wasn't a banana. It was a pomegranate.
It was a pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
Don't listen to none of that stuff.
No, but in all seriousness, though, pomegranate is a great fruit, man. It's been around for years. It's good for all types of health, heart. So we promote pomegranates up in here. You got to have a knop in the flower and a pomegranate on a priestly garment. A pomegranate, a knop in the flower.
You know what's funny about me and pomegranates is I can't peel them. I have to buy them already peeled because I got that, what do you call that phobia called tractophobia? It's a fear of holes or seeing a whole bunch of things together. I got that.
Oh.
So I can't, it makes me nauseous. And so I have to buy them already peeled.
I've never eaten a pomegranate. I've never eaten a pomegranate in my life.
What?
What?
I've drinking pomegranate juice, but I've never.
You haven't had a pomegranate? I'm bringing you a pomegranate.
I don't even know how to start eating. What do you eat? The seeds?
I eat the whole thing. Some people don't. Some people, once they get the seeds, get all the juice out and spit the seeds out. But I eat the whole thing.
Oh.
I eat the seeds too.
In the whole thing? I part too?
No, I don't do that part. Just the seeds. I eat all the seeds. So
yeah, that's all it is seeds. So when you bust open a pomegranate, it has valves, right? And it's the same as the heart. And this is why they say the pomegranate is the best fruit for you. When you open up the pomegranate, I don't know if anybody took science class or anatomy class, but I did. I got a little something I learned. Okay. When you open up that pomegranate,
right,
it has there are sections in that pomegranate, and it's just like valves. Your heart has sections. It's like 4 sections in your heart. And the shape of the pomegranate, when you open it, they say it's similar to the heart, in which you have to eat the pomegranate in its sections. So in your heart, you have blood that flows to the valve, and then it reproduces and cleanses itself, and then it pumps. So there's 2 sides of the heart, and it's the same as the pomegranate when you split it open and look inside and you see the valves. And that's all I got about that. But it's really good. You should try it. It's nothing but seeds on the inside. You just pop that seed in your mouth, pause, and then you just eat that. Some people grind it and make juice. That's how you get the juice out of it, but it's all good. And all of that, it's all good. It's all good.
Did you just throw a quick pause in between that?
He did.
Got you, man. But everybody, this channel is, we try games. We make sure you get the minds of all people who think in all types of ways.
Yeah.
Young and know the life.
So I have a question. I know we started with I know we had some technical difficulties when we first started. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Please let everybody know that we having a great, I think we're going to have a great topic tonight. So I know this is a kind of like a touchy subject, and it's also like it's not a light subject, so I'm going to just say it straight out. Suicide, would suicide be against Torah? Suicide, would it be against Torah? And this is coming in lieu of the I seen that there was a DJ that used to be on the Ellen show. Is it Helen or Ellen? What was her name?
Ellen.
So she was on, he was the DJ on that show, and he took his life earlier this week. I believe yesterday or 2 days ago he took his life. And we were discussing or I ran it by the panel, and I said, well, he took his life. Well, in Torah, would suicide be against the Torah? Would it be against the laws of God? So that's the question for tonight. I'm gonna give you all a chance to think about that, build up on that. I see people already have their opinion, so yeah. We're gonna discuss all that. Make sure, Sister Rhonda, make sure you get all that, so that we could discuss it. We're gonna wait for our brother Shaaltiel to be 100% ready to discuss, because he still has some stuff going on over there in wherever he's at, New Mexico or wherever he's at now. I know he was in California at one point, but he might be in New Mexico somewhere now. So
what are you doing in New Mexico?
I don't know. I don't even know if he's in New Mexico.
Oh.
But he's
Got some
somewhere.
black folks in New Mexico?
I'm sure they got black people in New Mexico. I think I know somebody from New Mexico that's black. Black people is everywhere.
Well, I know, but I mean,
they got black people in Colorado and Oklahoma and they got black people all over. And Sha'Altiel's children have taken over.
You
How
see
y'all
that?
doing?
So they not doing so well right now. They hungry. I'm about to feed them.
Oh, okay. So do your thing.
Back them up. 10 minutes.
And we'll come back to you. Take your time, man. Don't rush. Feed the kids.
I'll be in the live in the chat though. But no, I'm not in New Mexico. But I wish I was, because the NBA is in New Mexico right now.
The NBA.
Mexico.
It's a topic for another day, sis.
Yeah, I don't know no team in New Mexico.
What?
Can we hear some illusions? I was play some music. Let the people get into the suicide being murder, because they live in the chat right now. It's suicide murder. I say suicide is not murder. Suicide is not murder. Now, some might think suicide is murder. I think it's not murder. I have scriptorial evidence.
What?
Bring me a second.
You gotta bring the evidence.
I got
he don't got no
sis.
evidence. He's making it up as he go along.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
Yeah. Yes.
So we'll see. We got quite a few people. We got Ahithophel. We got Sha'Altiel tends to think also that Samson committed suicide. He tends to think that Samson's committed suicide. I know Ahithophel for sure committed suicide.
I can't wait to hear all of this. I can't wait, because I don't know. I can't wait to hear about Samson.
So we got a couple of things that we got to look at. I got to look at something that the Most High God said in Genesis. I'm gonna look back at that. We're gonna discuss that, and we know that's the thing that's in the current news, because we heard of this DJ killing himself, and there's various people that killed themselves. There's I think it's Naomi Judd from that country group. I don't know why I know her name, but I guess at one point the Judds were something. She took her life.
So, what they hot in the chat? We got it. We're gonna have to start soon.
I know, because
discussing.
But we have to wait for Sha'Altiel. So we're gonna take like 10, 15 minutes, play some music, and then we're gonna come back to the chat. Y'all keep the discussion going, and we're gonna come back to it. All right? Here we go.
Bring it to you so that you can understand the truth. Children of Israel, you and your squad better scratch the wheel. I bring it to you so that you can understand the truth. Children of Israel, you and your squad better scratch the wheel. Hold up, bro, I'm here to wake your soul up. Vibrate your mind state and shown up. Give it to ya. Make the wicked run and panic when I give it to ya. Lord statutes and commandments, I'ma give it to ya. Like Moses on the mount, when I shout holy truth, so the youth can't know what I'm talking about. No doubt, these wise words I saw ya. Brought forth to take a spirit higher. On the flip side, retire. All fakes and phonies, frauds, cons, and liars. All false messiahs, pretenders, words, purged, and claimed ya. Remember, y'all gave me the spirit to spit divine fire. Refuse to praise his name and get burned by the flame. This ain't a game, I'm bringing you reality. The fighting skills to kill that Negro mentality. So wake up, Jacob, good Jehovah Elohim reigns supreme. I bring it to you so that you can understand the truth. Children of Israel, you and your squad better scratch the real God. I bring it to you so that you can understand the truth. Children of Israel, you and your squad better scratch the real God. 1, 2. So tell me what I'm really going to do when the creator of the universe will come calling for you. Take heed. I'm guaranteed to give you what you need. Take heed. To the spiritual food that I'ma feed you. I bleed the blood of Abraham, original Hebrew. Here to stop that sin again. This ain't cinema. I don't rock with Jamie Foxx, but I'm that law-abiding citizen in God's holy nation of priests. I'm praying face in the east, teaching the truth to awaken the streets up to a life that is sacred and clean. Know what I mean? So you can pick it all you want, spread your hate, brag and boast. Most high got my back, God Jehovah's ever oath, aka Lord of hosts, to whom all praises is due for life. Forsake his way and yo, you just might lose your life. I'm choosing right over the wrong. I bring a strong representing for my Israelites. I bring it to you so that you can understand the truth. Children of Israel, you and your squad better scratch the real God. I bring it to you so that you can understand the truth. Children of Israel, you and your squad better scratch the real God. So what's the deal, yo? People refuse to keep it real, so I got to bring the truth and tell the people how it's done. Make it hot like the day y'all created the sun. I like the bullets fired out of your gun to kill the wicked. So what's the deal, people refuse to keep it real, so I got to bring the truth and tell them people how we do. Stop telling them lies, start teaching the truth. Or the next rhyme I write might be about you. Shoot the gift that's God-given. Adversaries wanted us dead, we still living. Still instilling y'all's truth and y'all's children. To hold us back is to take a nation to millions. I'm down for the people, I'm down for the cause. I'm bound by the Torah, so I'm down by law. In spiritual war, mental sword I swing. I don't fear no man because I'm down with the king. I bring it to you so that you can understand the truth. Children of Israel, you and your squad better scratch the real God. I bring it to you so that you can understand the truth. Children of Israel, you and your squad better scratch the real God.
I feel like my D's ain't going notice now. But if I did bad, I'd be the focus now. Just need a second to think, it's time to sketch it out. With all this holy stuff, it seems we only use knowledge to prove we know enough. But a Wikipedia, your teacher be calling your bluff. As it's just giving God his praise wasn't solid enough. We was doing it for the Father, we doing it for our honor. We sabotaged and perverted it, now we living.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
My hand washes the other while the face the
let everybody know that we're on tonight.
We try to mask. I struggle outside the box and we ponder it ass. But in your show, you the star, stunt, double, and cast. But never seem to blame yourself for your scars and your past.
Time in this, and the world knows it. Oh, that's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. I chose what's best for me. I'ma bask in his glory. Oh, that's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. Sing with me now. Staring at the stars, praying to you. Pray with me, yeah. Knowing
fast. We in this to reap up the benefits, some of the cash. Masking out evil in the culture, yeah, some of us gas. A reptile elevated, a snake in the grass. We abuse the way of our culture, spin circles around the Torah with gimmicks, something like vultures. Take comfort in making game out the flock, something like poachers, or using the titles that's being given to muscle soldiers. I gotta get myself together, that's the biggest talk. But you just highly in your folly chose a different walk. We never thought to pray together is to stay together. By walking the same path, you can face whatever. We understand we obligated to be elevated. The best of trying to be yourself, you poor at trying to fake it. And all secondary things, keep it separated. And let your aura reflect Torah and you're bound to make it. Amen.
And the world knows it. Oh, that's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. I chose what's best for me. I'ma bask in His glory. That's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. Sing with me now. Staring at the stars, praying to you.
Is it me or you feel it too? That gives me the strength for renewed. Is it me or you feel it too? I can't breathe without being told with you. I just feel lost sometimes without your blessings. So I'm staying with this Lord, my holy weapon. Words and spirits on the go, that's how we steppin'. Hope we living righteous, I don't care about how we trustin'. Living upright and holy, yeah. I take pride in my words, up with the trophy, yeah. Nation of Israel, who I do it for. Us in unity, so precious and so beautiful. Tryna be a Moshe protege with all of these little mistakes. So I can see divine power whenever they go first that day. So I hope and pray that they go that way. Representing God in the fame, yeah, that's that Joseph trait. This is how I feel. Wanna succeed with y'all, so I'm keeping it real. Is it me or you feel it too? Y'all gives me the strength for renewed. Is it me or you feel it too? I can't breathe without being told with you. I just feel lost sometimes without your blessings. So I'm staying with this Lord, my holy weapon. Words and spirits on the go, that's how we steppin'. Hope you living righteous, I don't care about how we trustin'. When you get that spirit of God, do you move? Nature within you, so you don't gotta pick and choose. You can resist that feeling when you hear the truth. Thinking of my ancestors, get a change of mood. Holy convocations needed. Rushing on my power, I believe it. Go to His promise, so yeah, I dream it. Going through time, only thing I think of is, oh my God is divine. This uplift my soul, core tove. All good on my road, it's all good on my road. This uplift my soul, core tove. All good in my life, it's all good on my road. Is it me or you feel it too? Y'all gives me the strength for renewed. Is it me or you feel it too? I can't breathe without being told with you. I just feel lost sometimes without your blessings. So I'm staying with this Lord, my holy weapon. Words and spirits on the go, that's how we steppin'. Hope you living righteous, I don't care about how we trustin'. Torah, feeling glad when I'm in your glory. Torah, feeling blessed 'cause I'm in your story.
They asked me who I am, I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right, I'm an Israelite. They asked me where I'm from, I told them you can pick a side. We worldwide, I'm an Israelite. Whether through scripts or history, no, I can show you. In the army of Yahuwah, oh boy, I'm a soldier. Yeah, they asked me who I am, I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right, I'm an Israelite. When I say Israelite, they say you Jewish. Look, don't be foolish. Come get a dose of this mental renewing. See how we brew it, it's just different. Like, for instance, first thing to know, brother, it's a culture, no religion. Talking the bloodline, they say we Jacob children. And yeah, that's a factor, but what really matter, how we living? Given that we gotta get Beseda, that mean in order. For that we got that Torah, some brothers we got Basora. Of course, and some don't believe, but that don't matter today. I ain't tryna throw no shade, as long as we all stay in the way. That 613, we coolin' like palm trees. A couple of that, yeah, ain't no fam, know what I mean. They asked me who I am, I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right, I'm an Israelite. They asked me where I'm from, I told them you can pick a side. Yeah. We worldwide, I'm an Israelite.
Can't keep it bottling. Giving no praise to my spirit, need oxygen. Deep wisdom like Solomon. Vision like Moshe, that one day I see the promised land. Ain't going to heaven, no, but Most High set up the throne. The earth is for all the men, but you live forever through your seeds. So stack up your cheese, and you could be all in here. Reading scriptures through my Cartier, we were commodity on the market here. Story told about Granny in a rocket chair. Grandpa just showed us the scars on his back, cause he took his shirt off, it was hot in here. Told us it all through his life, but he held his head out, he couldn't just ride in fear. He just prayed to the God of my forefathers. Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. This is history, no fairy tale. That's up in Mesopotamia. That's why I say get up and go with life. We don't let you got no restraining ya. Most High already blessed us when he let Jacob rescue the extraterrestrial. Israel make it hard to do it well. We off the wall like Jezebel, but it's time to build like Bezalel. I ain't no priest, but I'm ringing bells. Oh yeah. Whenever I'm low, so my feelings hurt and I get distraught, you just come up and door. The God of my forefathers. Anytime feel bothered, anytime feel joy, anytime feel sorrow. God of my forefathers. Call on the God of my forefathers. Oh, God of my forefathers. Anytime feel bothered, anytime feel joy, anytime feel sorrow. God of my forefathers. God of my forefathers. Oh, ain't no one else you could call upon. Y'all knows exactly what's going on. Past, present, and the future, but nevertheless, he made us exclusive. We ain't want to serve him, so he made us serve a foreign nation that'll surely abuse us. Lord, please rid us of every adversary and of all our accusers. Beautiful voices from God, they took us for evil for their own amusement. Not only musicians, but they took some scholars and whoever else was conducive. And yet we don't see the beauty in each other, but that day is crazy as ever. Just think of the blessings instead of the curses whenever you look in the mirror. Sister, know you tired of that running mascara, and brothers, the feeling of being a failure. Praying, I just want to see us do better. Let's start off with being loyal to our shepherd. It's the most highway, and you don't want to get off on the wrong exit. A 14-day journey turned to 40 years of us roaming around in the desert. We done been tarred and feathered, severed body part 7. We don't do low, we lose leverage. I hope we all get the message. Whenever I'm stressed, so I get real tired of being depressed. I just call on the best, the God of my forefathers. Yeah. El Lobo flow. Yeah, I never switch up my bases. I'm still focused and favored. I'm still patiently waiting to see our land which was taken. Yeah, give us a reign, man. I'm sick of tired of this nation that kill my brothers for Nathan. We're still marching for changes. They brought us over in chains. Now keep us locked in the basement. They do they murders and masses, but still label us dangerous. They let men sleep with men and never fail with our cases. They think it's fear in our eyes. We see the hate on their faces. They drugged us up with religion. The 12 steps up of Nathan. They whitewashing their history. The 12 tribes are forsaken. Trying to keep my composure. These artifices just shaking. I want a burger with onions. They offer burgers with bacon.
They about to purge all of Jacob, the plan and purpose. Displacement reading the same sheet of music while past it turning the pages. Think of the hare and the turtle. We jumping hurdles past Satan. I use the law as a girdle. Like ain't no belt with my waist. It's curse if you hear Yahweh's words without confirming the statements. The truth can buy for nothing, but we ain't purchasing Nathan. It's generational curses, but I'm determined to break it. We don't got perfect relations, but it can work if we make it. Know what you serving is grave in the churches is vacant. Emergencies waiting. If idol worshipers don't turn to the agent. Can't wait to learn, I learn the way, cause you get further with patience. Can't remake it, it's hard to refurbish your soul once it's tainted. I'm in.
I'm back, another clean verse track. Z Benjamin came to craft, no need to rehearse raps. Took some time away from music, had to divert back. Like I left my phone at home, I had to.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
Brothers, and I read.
Let everybody know that we're on.
For the sisters, yellow Deem up next. I'm a we don't have to pour waters, this our return back. Israel catches wave, Red Sea surf rap. Back to the boom back. C brought that groove back like loose slaps, 2 socks and true facts.
This is why I gotta be loved. Stop saying time heal wounds when a genuine apology does. The Most High is well known to provide that plan. Even if they throwing stones and they hide their hands. So I hold no ties with the foolish, I'm fearless.
All right.
Hold I for renewing my spirit all the time, baby. Cause they be trying to tarnish what's honest. They mad that I'm conscious and weave through the monsters. Most people's stories is lies. We got differences. I realize the glory of Yah is magnificent. I was a starter. I was hardly on the bench. They got mad at the father. He tried to rob me of my strength. That's not growth. I'm respected on the average. They really didn't know when Yah blessed is established. Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. That's what we all know. They passed us the torch though. That's why I got a raw flow.
Good times. I didn't walk walked inside this way, yeah, my whole life. I done seen it go than the righteous, say about 8, 9, and got up 10 times. You know I just don't get it. How you bite the hand that feeds you, I won't let it. Jeremiah 9 is so prophetic. Rewarding good with evil, yeah, you will regret it. I'm from Ohio, how my business in Guyana? You pillow talking with your wife, man, you playing with my life. How did this become the Hebrew standard? Stand up, feel like I've been betrayed up by my elders. And what? Wanna get on back, but my integrity got me jammed up. Feel like I'm living my 23rd hour. Why is this wickedness coming from those in power? Yeah, come down and deliver me from this evil. Yeah, I'm trying not to spaz out on your people. Yeah, I came down and guess what? He helped me see the same thing I was saying about people. People pray about me.
My guide my footsteps. Yehovah be my guide. Take my footsteps.
We gotta have y'all be our guides. You gotta be that change you wanna see. Like Minister Kava say.
If it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, now may Israel say. If it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, when men rose up against us. Listen to the words I'm speaking. Pay attention. It's beneficial for That's why the world ain't doing right, homie. They killing all our leaders, teachers. Set us up with bogus preachers. Man, we need the Most High to free us. Please, pay attention to the light, homie. All praise to the Elohim. That's where I get my strength to stand tall like the Anakim. All praise. Top of the mountain, the getters inking back down like Moses' veil, face glowing yellow beam. Okay, Levy got the sword, all on the side of the Lord, make war for the new regime. Pick a side. Too many harlots, foreheads, need for that, ain't wanna say it, but it's time for in-house cleaning. Flipping pages through the Torah, not being Ketuvim. Modern day sages, this ain't Vegas, we ain't keeping secrets. Black man in America is crabs in a barrel, stole by pirates to the Caribbean. John Hawkins, Barbosa, same European. And they got the nerve to try to make us pledge allegiance. Swing low, sweet chariot. Y'all please take us home, we with you tired of living under heathens. Yeah. Listen to the words I'm speaking. Please. It's beneficial for your life, homie. Tired of being under heathens. That's why the world ain't doing right, homie. It's on us too. They killing all our leaders, teachers. Dang. Set us up with bogus preachers. Woo. We need the Most High to free us. Please. Pay attention to the light, homie. Look. Gave Ptolemy our plight. That's a rapper's halo overhead, your modern day. Put that story to bed. Yahweh said, for your sins, no other man can lose his life. That's a fact. Your priests wear collar, mines wore a breastplate with sapphires, rubies, ice. Decked out like the back of your multi-family home. In the South, we still living under Rome. Part 2. Obedience could bring Judah back to throne. Turn Israel to a house from rejected cornerstone. Serving this king still make me ecstatic. Make me wanna sing, instead I'ma rap it. Doing this Lord presented on tablets. Yeah. Talk about the Holy One, you could create a classic. Yeah. Your spirit ain't right, no way you can match. Nah, trust in the Lord and you be well established. Yeah. Listen to the words I'm speaking. It's beneficial for your life.
Shabbat Shalom, low key lab.
The world ain't doing right.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone out there.
They killing all our leaders, teachers. Set us up with bogus preachers.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Smash down on that like button.
Tassels on my shirt, numbers 15 to 37 verse. Sisters put them on their skirts. Too much lip service, but the fields look deserted when it's time to put in work. Staring in the window to you so I see the hurt. Foolish imagery on TV, don't know what you're worth. We all have a special job, moving with the breath of God until our expiration turn us back to dirt. Whoa. The darker the berry, the more they wanna use it for wine. Now use your insecurities to shine. All these trials and tribulations are divine. Without pressure, wouldn't be no diamonds in the mine. They prayed up. Just pay homage to the eternal. Too hot to be outside, the streets will burn you. A wise man learns from others' lessons. Yeah, the Most High is our only protection. Real truth. Stay the course. Shut up and listen. Shut up and listen.
Shut up and listen. Check it, I felt the spirit moving all through my body. I'm Shabbat at the Knesset, hear the shouts in the Timbali. Abba used to wake me, have me drip. Different fringes, Leviticus 11 diet, no unclean kitchens. My Ema told me that I'm blessed and that I'm different. Keep eyes on my head and speaking Hebrew just for instance. Shema Yisrael, Yehovah Eloheinu Echad. Focus on good grades, serving Yehovah is my day job. Lamb on my fork, no pork, that's a course. Keep the course, but my friends brought influences of sorts. Felt conflicted, we didn't acknowledge Christmas. Peeping friends, talking toys and writing out the wish list. I know Santa's just a figment of imagination. The festivities look fun, no exaggeration. I love this life, but my zeal started slipping. The beginning of my troubles over things my Abba mentioned, yeah.
So I'm grown now, or at least I think I am. I'm about to go do what I gotta do, what I wanna do.
Check it. Check it, a little older now I lash out and rebel against my parents. Those whoopings and punishments, I can't stand it. Sneaking out and go and kick it with all my school friends. Take my fringes off but put them on after school ends. Getting in mad trouble, don't try to cover up the loose ends. Smoking mad weed and try to mac to get some new skins. Got burnt, skid school and hit the doctor up. Pistol in my hand, couple ox cribs, I shot them up. Turned 18 and got a felony charge. It was good when I was torn, now life's hitting me hard. Man, 23 and 1 while I sit in these bars. No accountability, yeah, while you deal me these cards. Why? Anger starting to boil, I'm ice grilling these guards. I was booked, smart and cool, please deliver me, Lord. Broke down in my cell, told y'all to please forgive me. I turned my back, I'm gon' change, I just hope that he hears me, yeah.
Like I knew. Yeah, if you can hear me, please forgive me, please deliver me out of this. I give my word, I'ma speak the truth. Please, Yahweh.
Check it, wrote my Ema, told I'm sorry for all the disrespect. She sent me a couple kippahs and a tanakh for the intellect. Got it so the guards don't bother me on Sabbath. Brothers in my ward like me teaching them the lessons. Praying throughout the day and my commissary's clean. Crazy how the prison system is filling out my needs. Peep the calendar, another month to my release date. Yeah, I give my word, I'ma teach truth and keep faith. Got released and my Abba was there to pick me up. Cried on his shoulder, say I'm sorry, my spirit lift me up. Now I'm back doing work at the camp and have a testimony. Told her, yo, I'm back to living holy. I'm very far from perfect and I always take rebuke. I show love to all my people and I never drop the nuke. I pray every time before I step up off this stoop. Follow Yah, not your friends, have to share some real truth, yeah. Hallelujah. Don't be like this. Learn from others' mistakes.
All right. Yahava, I don't know which tune you want me to run back, so you got to tell me which tune in specific you want me to run back so I can run it back. So, Shalom. Sha'atil, you back? I think we stalled enough.
I'm here, baby. I'm here.
There we go. So,
Can you hear me loud and clear?
We hear you loud and clear, and we hear your yellow deem loud and clear. So
we all have a my children have a voice too.
Everyone has a voice.
Yes.
So the topic today is, I guess the topic today is suicide in lieu of what happened in the this past week with DJ Twitch, the DJ from the Ellen show, committing suicide. That's what is reported thus far. With suicide, I'm always kind of leery about it because black people, I know this is going to sound ignorant. Sister Nazira, I also heard the same thing that you said about him putting all his Kesev into crypto and that FTX file and cryptocurrency and whatever it was, and that thing went kaput. A lot of people lost a lot of Kesev in that. So they said he took his life. So now, us as black people, this is just a side note. Us as black people, we've been living with our money for years. A lot of us come from nothing. So even if we lose it all, it's not common for us to kill ourselves, when we lose it all. So that's one of the things that kind of got me leery when it comes to suicide and stuff like that. I'm also, because black people usually don't kill themselves for that. I'm not saying black people do not or never kill themselves for that, but I'm saying it's not a common thing. So, that's one of the things that's floating out there, and that's one of the things that people are leery about, that people are questioning whether or not this is, there was some foul play. Police said there was no foul play. Hey. All right, so Deborah Max says that may not be true. Okay, so, it's just a lot of stuff, speculation out there. But the question tonight is committing suicide against Torah? Also, I'm sure he knew more than a few things about Ellen. I mean, Ellen don't really got nothing to hide. She already is what she is. So, but, regardless of that, how are we going to start this? I know there's a lot going on in the chat. Sister Rhonda, did you catch some of that stuff?
Yeah, I kind of zeroed in on what Nasik Rob said earlier in the chat, and he says, what's the consequences for murder in the Torah? If suicide is murder, is the penalty self-inflicted?
Meaning it's kind of like your own you got your own judgment. You put your own judgment on yourself.
Yeah.
And therefore, would it still be considered murder because you're dead, right? And this is the catch. When you look up the law for murder and whatnot, guess what comes up?
What?
The avenger of blood. If someone committed murder, the avenger of blood has the right to take that person's life back. And so, in a case where you take your own life, there is no avenger of blood. And therefore, if there is no avenger of blood, that's why this is not murder.
So I want to go to Genesis chapter 9, verse 5 and 6. It says, and surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of a man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God he made man. So I know there's a lot there, but I think the important thing is in the image of God he made man. So we are a reflection in the image of the Creator. I think if we take our lives, I think that I believe that there is a sin in that. I believe that there is something in that that's inherently wrong, especially, and I know that this is a touchy subject and I don't want to make light of it because, you have people dealing with depression, you have people dealing with chemical imbalances, you have a lot of things going on, stress, people, thinking about things that are just not healthy, and you don't know what goes through a person's mind when they do these acts and when they commit these acts. I remember when Robin Williams, when he killed himself, he left a note basically saying that he couldn't take it anymore. And every time you see Robin Williams, he was smiling, he made people smile. So there was no, and it's not really about money because he had money. Naomi Judd had money. There's a lot of people that commit suicide with a lot of money. So I don't think that, money could cause you to commit suicide, but, it's something more sometimes with some people than money. So I think there is something to committing suicide that the Most High God would not be happy with you taking your life for no reason whatsoever, especially when you have when you have family and people that depend on you, you have children, you have certain things or certain groups of people that are waiting for you. You know, if he had young children, did he think about that? I know somebody put in the chat that it's a selfish act. But like I said, it's a sensitive subject, and we don't know how people's minds are working or the things that cause people to do these things. Sometimes people commit suicide from it's not even like a real suicide, but it's induced by, how they call those hallucinogenics. And like you take something and you think you're invincible, you jump off the 10th floor of the building. You know, it could be different things that cause, these type of actions to happen. But we're talking about the mental stress and the depression and those type of things, and whether the Most High God, whether is it acceptable before the eyes of the Creator? If you're going through something. You also have people that I remember there was a doctor by the name of Dr. Jack Kevorkian. Back in the days, people that had these like
terminal.
Terminal diseases and things that, they were just suffering and were in like great pain, that he will create this cocktail and basically, leave it there for you, and you just press the button, and it was it would be a small drip into your vein, and basically, it was like a lethal injection, and you would die because people were suffering. So there's a lot of different things. Is it us trying to play God when we take our lives? Is it us trying to get away from our judgment? Maybe your judgment is to suffer with some pain. I don't know. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm not trying to be cruel, and I know a lot of people are going through things, but I don't know. These are why we have discussions and why we talk. And maybe I don't want to say, maybe you have to go through pain. Maybe that's the wrong choice of words, because you don't want anyone to go through pain.
But everybody goes through pain. And the questions you're asking are right on target, because each of us individually has to answer these questions when we go through stress, right? We go through things, lives and trauma and stress, and don't know how to handle it. And so the selfish word part of it is saying, I give up and I don't want to deal with it anymore. This is the easy way out, right? And some people might look at it as selfish, but again, as you mentioned, we don't know what's going on at the minds of the people. And so when you brought this topic to me, the first thing I thought about was, how can we help our people to avoid that, right? And we have, and this is why I love our Torah and our history and the scriptures, the Old Testament, the Holy Scriptures, because we have every example of life. And we can look to these examples and see the reason what made these men take their own lives. We brought up Ahithophel. We brought up King Saul. We brought up Samson. And these examples, each man took the thought to take their own life for whatever reason. And so what I look at is, what can we do to avoid getting to that level of stress? Yeah. Right? We all have families. We all have jobs. But how can we avoid the stressful part? And we alluded to it. We talked about it last week, the mental health part, how to keep your mental health in a positive state so that you don't fall down that rabbit hole to want to commit suicide. And I think, so this for that part of this conversation, yeah, we should talk about it, understanding that we don't know what everybody is going through, but we want to help aid in overcoming your stress. We want to help aid and give you resources or things that could give you strength so that you don't feel like you want to go down that hole. And I have a few precepts that I've written down that I would like to share, which will help give us strength within our own personal lives. And then we could dive into the brother himself and, the Ellen show. And you brought up Robin Williams and a lot of these rich men or rich people who have the means to sustain their families even after their death, right? We look at whether it's life insurance, whether it's we have wills. I hope everybody has a living will. I hope everybody are putting their affairs in order in the event, because we don't know when we'll go, whether suicide or not. So we should still have wills and certain things in place for our families, especially men, for your wives, your houses, your children. We should always prep, because you never know what's going to happen. And those examples are, and even with Ahithophel said he went home and set his house in order before he took his life. What did that mean? How did he set his house in order? So we understand that a lot of folks like the DJ and Robin Williams, who are exposed to the industry and media and entertainment, where, you know, their lives, may felt like it wasn't their own, or they had no more control over their life. They had no more control over their decisions. So they decided to make certain, you know, suicidal things. But however, they, like I said, might have put their quote unquote house in order, right? I looked up the brother DJ, and he turned his phone off. He put his phone into the airplane mode. And I'm gonna get to the scriptures in a minute. He put his phone into airplane mode so that he couldn't be reached. His wife says he left his house and went to a hotel and did this thing, right? So he kind of had it in his mind, his intentions. So we don't know if he spoke to a lawyer prior to, or if he made certain, you know, things for his children. We don't know what he did for his children or not, but we can see that there was clear intent on what he was going to do. The scriptures that I have that might give us strength when we're stressed or feeling down or feel like there's no way out or don't have any hope or don't know what the Most High is doing, because that's the other thing. We sometimes feel like the Most High forgot about us, or he turned his back on us, so we feel like God is not hearing us, or God is not answering, the Most High is not answering our prayers or whatnot. And so I love the book of Isaiah for this. The prophet Isaiah hones in on a lot of this stuff. You got chapter 12, Isaiah chapter 12, verses 1 through 6. We have Isaiah chapter 30. Isaiah chapter 30, starting at like verse 18. And again, you got chapter 41s, 42s, the 43s, all the 40s, if you ask me. We have Isaiah chapter 25, verses 1 through 5, right? Isaiah chapter 25, verses 1 through 5. And these are just words that when you read them, you can get uplifted and reading it, know that the Most High is still there for you and help answer your prayers. We have Psalms, Psalms 85, Psalms 138, Psalms 118, Psalms 107. And then we have Deuteronomy, which is my favorite, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verses 25 through 30. These are just some things that I've written down that helps me. And then I read, you know, when you feel like there's nobody else there to talk to, you don't know what the answers are, you don't see no solution tomorrow, and you just want to give up. Now, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I've been wanting to give up, you know. People might not, they might be afraid to talk about suicidal thoughts that they had, but we might have gone through so much stress that you feel like, when you look at Job said, "Cursed be the day I was born. I wish I was never here." He never committed suicide, but he went through so much that he just wished he wasn't alive, right? And so we have these examples to look to in our Tanakh as to how to overcome it so that we don't fall down that rabbit hole. And the men that we mentioned, like the DJ, Robin Williams, certain men that we see right now, they lack spiritual guidance. They lack a spiritual outlet. And that's what we have when we have our Torah as Hebrew Israelites. We have a spiritual outlet to help relieve ourselves of the stress. If we know how to tap in, if we know what spirituality is and how to tap into that spiritual source, it's here. I've given you verses to help you gain spiritual strength so that you don't feel like the world is over. But a lot of these people don't have it. And this is what separates the Kanye West and what makes people think he's crazy. He was going through a lot too. He found the Most High, even Kyrie Irving. They didn't give up. He said, "You know what? I turned to the Most High and I'll speak," and they'll, you know, speak and talk about it, but they still hold on to the Most High. And so by holding on to the Most High, you know that there is a future, there is a bigger picture. And this is the selfish part, because when you realize life is not about you, right? People give up because like, oh, my world is over, and you give your life and you take your life. And that's why people understand that whole selfish concept. I do understand it, but it's bigger than that. Spirituality gives us something bigger than that. And I hope those verses help understand. But going back to the question, is it murder? No, I don't think it's murder, because again, there's no avenger of blood, right? And so the law of murder, if you take an innocent life and being premeditated, this guy had intent. Was it premeditated? Did he have time to think about it over time? A lot of suicidal cases is instant. You know what? I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna write a letter. I love you. Da 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 da. I'm just gonna do it because I don't know how to process all these thoughts. I don't know how to channel all of my feelings. I don't know what to do with all this, and that just seems like it's so much, and it keeps coming. It keeps coming. It keeps coming. I'm gonna end it right now. That's not so much premeditated. That's just more so reacting off a feeling and don't know how to react off the feeling. And we all go through this. Some of us spaz it out. We curse people out. We say things that we don't mean. You lash out. You might even curse out your boss or a teacher or someone in authority because you're overwhelmed. And that happens. We being overwhelmed is a natural part of life and don't know how to channel it. And so that part we have to talk about. Again, it goes back to the mental health of last week. And having these conversations gives us strength so that we don't fall down these rabbit holes. But at the same time, again, this stuff be instant. It be a spread of the moment that you just, you got to take it. And then there's something else happening. There's something else happening. And it's like I said, when it rains, it pours. It's just like, ah. But those are the moments where you stop, pause, and say, what is the Most High trying to tell me? Let me see if I could just be still and listen to the overall message. Maybe I should slow down. Maybe there's a bigger picture in all of this, and I need to just hone in on what that message is. And hopefully those scriptures help, and these conversations like this help us as well.
Hey, I just want to say this, and I see it in the chat. I know that this is going to spiral into a bunch of other stuff, and it's good because we need to have this conversation, and it's good that it spirals into other things. I think tonight is going to be more of a therapeutic type of thing, more so than us going back and forth. But the question for tonight is whether suicide or not is against Torah. I know that a lot of people are pointing things, and it's true. Like I know you were speaking about the Torah passages, and that's important and that's essential. Even when a person is going through like any type of let's say like if you're fighting like a terminal illness like cancer, or not terminal, but if you're fighting cancer and you went through a surgery and you're trying to recover, a lot of times even the doctors tell you, hold on to your faith. If you believe in God, and they actually tell you, people who believe in God are the people that survive or have the better spirit, and they tend to survive, versus the people that don't believe in God and they let their spirits down. So the trust and belief in the Most High God is very, very important. But what about the people that are so deep into a depression that, they can't even, like they read the Psalms, but the Psalms is not resonating with them. They're reading they're reading verses, Bible verses every day. They're trying to really get into it and understand it, and it's still something malfunctioning. Now, sometimes there's a chemical imbalance, and I know that within our community, sometimes we don't like to think of that, or think that sometimes we got like an imbalance and that you have to go take medication. But sometimes people have an imbalance, and it's more so than just your depression or you being held down. You actually need something to straighten you back out. It could be for a moment, but it could be for life. Or you go through certain things like schizophrenia, and it's a bunch of things. That's why I said this thing could go into so many other places when we talk about it. But We got Sister Rhonda. And also, like I said, this is a serious topic. So I just want to keep it in terms of, because there might be people here listening that's going through some of the things that we're talking about. So we don't want to be insensitive and kind of like minimize this. So that's why we're so careful in speaking about this, because we don't want to make this minimal and act like, Israelites don't go through this because we have God. No, Israelites go through this also, even with the Most High God, having the Most High God. So, Sister Rhonda, do you have anything for us over there?
Yeah, I have a couple things. I wanted to just share, like you just said, that amongst us, we do have family members amongst us that are struggling, and they're looking for some sort of help. So I always want to direct everyone, as a clinician myself. I also want to direct people to the suicide hotline. Not only is that hotline just for, if you think you're thinking about harming yourself, it also can help with depression. It can help you with other life issues that's going on. You can always call 311, and that's from anywhere in the United States. You can always call 311 for help. But the suicide hotline number is 1-800-273-8255, or you can just dial 988, and that'll get you to a suicide counselor. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that that was available.
Can you repeat that again, and when you get a chance, write it in the chat? That's for anyone. Because a lot of times, you go to like spiritual leaders, or you go to someone. Sometimes spiritual leaders don't have the answer for you. Sometimes you have to be the reality. Sometimes you have to be diagnosed, and sometimes you have to be balanced out.
Yeah.
It's easy for a person who does not have certain things going on with them to say, just trust in the Most High God and it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Everyone is not, everyone brain is not wired the same. Some people are actually on medications in order to get their brains correct. I know some of you are going to try to kill me for this, but this is the reality and this is the truth. I never want to be a person that causes someone to lose their lives because I'm not listening, in the way that I should be listening or looking at the signs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need experts that went to school to deal with certain things. Some of us, we could uplift people, we could give people spiritual guidance, but that's for a person who's wired a certain way. But in other cases, you have people that are wired differently, that just the spiritual counsel is just that's not going to work. So
because we as Black people, we know how to pray. That's one thing we know how to do is pray. And yes, spiritual counseling plays a part in mental health, but not the whole construct of getting help. One of the things that I shared last week, I personally, when my sister passed away last year, I personally went through deep depression, but it was one of those you don't know you're depressed until you when you look around and you look at your life and just wonder why it's all in shambles. You don't even know, you're just in a functioning depressive state, that you go to work, you do all the things that you're coming home, you might not wash dishes like you normally do or clean your house like you normally do, but you're functional, you're being functionally depressed. So there's so many different levels to depression that if you don't have some sort of intervention can lead to maybe suicide and things like that. But you have to kind of know who you are. Know that sometimes you will have some moments of clarity during the depression where you're sitting back and you're looking at yourself. And sometimes that state makes you more depressed if you can't really pull yourself up out of that dark hole. But I know a lot of us go through that every day, that we're walking around, going to work, doing the day-to-day things, but we are depressed. And we talk about medications. I'm not a big proponent of medications, but in this instance, I am, because I was told before that medications, they don't stop the problem. It's like an umbrella. It doesn't stop the rain, but it stops you from getting wet. It's still going to rain. It's still going to do that. That's what the medication does. It's not going to stop these things from happening in your life, but it allows you to be able to deal with it and have some clarity while you're trying to get through it. So, I want us to, if we're in a situation where we just feel like we can't get out of, sometimes it's not even medication. It could just be therapy, talking it out to someone that doesn't even know you, and you can just let it out. You can just let it out without feeling judged in situations like that. So it's so many options out there. So I want to make sure that as we start having this talk tonight, that we can explore some of those options.
And I think that's important what you said in terms of counseling. Yes, some people don't have, and the only thing I'm speaking about in terms of medication is for those people that have the chemical imbalance. When you're in balance, nothing else is going to get you back balanced if you don't have the right, I guess, medication to balance you out. Because in some cases you don't have to stay on it forever. You just have to get balanced out. But the problem is the people who need it, i.e. Kanye West, they don't think nothing is wrong with them. So therefore they don't take the medication, and you continue in the rabbit hole that you continue in. But
wait a minute.
Hold on. You throw Kanye West in there all the time. So I just let me, but I do want to say this in terms of the counseling, right? And I think what's very important is this, and why people a lot of times might not go to elders in the Israelite community. You have to find someone that's trustworthy, cause Alina said in her song, how we so and so, but my business is in Guyana.
Right, right.
So if I'm going through some depression, I'm going through a mental state, and as an elder or as a leader, someone comes to you, that's supposed to just die with you, regardless of whatever. When a person expresses certain things to you and you helping them, certain things is just supposed to just die with you and stay with you, because, then the person then we can't go to anyone that we could trust. You have to go to people you could trust to be able to pour your soul and then get good, righteous advice and to be able to move forward. So those are different instances and different circumstances. But
the question, we do have to feel comfortable, and trust is a big factor, like you just said, and we have to feel comfortable doing that. And I'm not afraid to say that therapy has been one of the things that has helped me on this journey. It's like you gotta talk to somebody, and I wanted to talk to someone that looked like me, but I also wanted that could understand a little better. I didn't want to talk to someone that just told me to just go and pray, because I know how to pray. I know I've been praying, but it's some other things that you just need some tools to just say, when you're feeling like this is what you should do. Or when you're going through this is what you do. You need to set boundaries here and do that. So sometimes it might necessarily need to be out of the community just so you can get the help you need.
And then sometimes,
and that's unfortunate.
Okay, go ahead.
That we don't have these professionals in our community. This is what your leaders not should be, but when you look at judges or officers in our book, these were professional trained men. And so We need more professions. We need more professionals that know how to diagnose a Kanye West so that we don't have just anybody saying he's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it's a true diagnosis. And a lot of the times, and we're going to still use the Kanye West, right? Because if you ask him, he doesn't think he's crazy. You understand what I'm saying? We don't realize in our own state what state we're in. And this is why it is important to seek professional help. And I'm always big on, counsel and talking to elders and people in our community. But I've learned and I've gotten a lot of my best help from people who were not a third party, a third ear, who know nothing about Hebrew Israelite or Jewish for that matter. And they just judge the situation or tell you about the situation based on the situation, no emotional attachment. And these are what we call professionals, right? They look at many cases of many different people, and there's nothing wrong with seeking counsel. It's taboo, and we talked about that last week as well. I think to find a professional is important outside of the Hebrew Israelite community. And then when you do have someone that you do trust in the Hebrew Israelite community, I know a lot of people trust Chief of Chiefs. God bless his memory. I trust the Chief of Chiefs. Chief of Chiefs will give you some sound wisdom based on, and he wouldn't be biased. And he'll give you his own personal examples that he can relate to help you understand. And even though that was good, because after he gave you his personal examples, he would give you the spiritual side according to his understanding of Torah. But that was still only a small piece. I still needed that professional to help me overcome these challenges. And we forget that we do this Shabbat thing. We only talk to each other one day out the week. There's 6 whole days that we have with this outside world.
That's right.
Whether school, whether work, there's 5 or 6 whole days that we don't even commune with our sabbatical family, quote unquote. And so we have to know how to utilize both resources to help us be whole and complete. But I do want to get back to the scriptural part of it, right? As far as why it might be murder or why it might not be murder, and use the examples of Ahithophel. Ahithophel, was he stressed or was he feared for his life, right? He committed treason and he went against the king. And and this is in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 15, right? You can look it up. 2 Samuel chapter 14, 15, 16, 17. I encourage you to read all of them, because don't just read one chapter. Read from 4 and read after, so you get a good understanding of the story, which I did today. But he went against the king to have his Absalom become king. And so now this is treason. You don't go against the king. You don't conspire against the king. Anyone who does that is automatic death. And when Ahithophel found out that his counsel, his wisdom that he told Absalom, what he told him to do, when he found out that everybody else knew about it, that King David knew about it, that's when he feared for his life. Because if nobody would have found out that he gave that counsel, that it came from him, would he have still taken his own life, right? So word got back, and then he got afraid. And this is why it's like, if you're going to do something that's truthful, you don't have to hide it. You don't have to, you don't have to sneak it. If you're doing something that's honest and truthful, it don't have to be hidden or a secret. But Ahithophel knew that whatever he was doing should not have been done. And the only thing that happens after that is death. And that's what Ahithophel was facing. He said, well, surely, if King David know that I'm the one who counseled and did this against the king, he's going to come after my life. And as the book reads, he went home, he got his house in order, and then he strangled himself. He hung himself on a rope. I say that he did that out of fear of losing his own life. Now, the stress part comes in that, right? Because, oh my gosh, David heard about this. I'm afraid. He starts stressing and don't know how to handle it, or don't know where to go, or don't know resources or who to talk to help him alleviate that. But ultimately, what his life been taken anyway, right? And let's talk about that in the scriptural part. Let's just talk about this story, so that way we're not stepping on anybody's toes, and we can use this example to help us, advocate our point.
So
Go ahead, Sister Rhonda.
No. I did want to read something from Brother Ziev. Am I saying it right?
Zeev.
And in kind of a response to this, but just in general, and then we could just mesh it all together. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. He said, Saul created his death by not killing everything. Kinship got taken, made matters worse by doing abhorrent acts that led to his death or demise. Shimshon married a foreigner and trusted her when she did not have his best interests at heart, that led to his demise after Yah said, don't intermarry. For instance, in the Tanakh, when someone causes a self-inflicted death, it is a consequence of the disobedience beforehand.
Okay.
If I kill someone for no justifiable reason, in Torah, that equals murder. So if you kill yourself for no justifiable reason, which there isn't one in Torah, that equals murder.
That's the way, I think that's the way most people see it, that even if you're taking your own life, that's murder. And I believe, and just being, sensitive to the topic and how people feel, but I do believe that is a form of murder. That's the way I was taught it by Chief of Chiefs.
Right.
Ironically, he's the one that taught us, and he's the one that put it in those words. And he would refer to, if we're made in the image of God, and basically we have no right to take away our lives.
It's like the unpardonable sin, right?
Yeah, it's like there is no way, and and then that goes into, and I don't want to go into this rabbit hole, but you got people that believe life after death. Even you got Israelites that believe that there's something after this, and so it's that forgiven in the afterlife, and all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot of stuff. So is Ahithophel, he felt the stress that was coming upon him, and that stress was called King David, because he knew that counsel that he gave to Absalom was good, and Absalom he decided to listen to everyone else except his counsel. You also well, Job never did it. His wife and his friends saw him curse God and die.
Right.
What's the other one? We said King Saul.
King
I
fell
see
on
that
his
they
sword.
say he fell on his sword, and he finished
facing
himself
death,
off.
and that's what a lot of these people were facing death.
King Saul was wounded. He was wounded, and he asked his armor bearer to take him out, because he had like a mortal wound. So he was like, I don't want these people to have fun in killing me, so you kill me. The armor bearer said, I'm not going to do that. So King Saul fell on his own sword. His armor bearer fell on his own sword. They both committed suicide, I guess. Saul finished himself off, and the armor bearer committed suicide. And I don't know if Shimshon was so much suicide, more so than, I guess it's suicide, because he knew he would die in the midst of all of it. So, but was the cause greater than just his life? I think these are all different parts to different things. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to unravel. But I do think that taking your own life, is not correct. I do think so. Now, you have people with opposing opinions and opposing views, which is okay. And I just want to say this, all right? Because sometimes when we have these discussions, and you see me and especially me and Shaltiel, you will see us opposing each other. But at the end of it, and even disagreeing harshly, but it never gets to the point where we are insulting each other, right? Or just thinking that our point is just the greatest point. We actually debate. We go back and forth, right? And at the end of the discussion, whether I agree with him or not, we still have love for each other. I don't think any less of him, and he doesn't think any less of me. I think that sometimes some people, not all, you got a handful of people that if, it's the words and how you use words that you offend other people, and we need to be conscious of it. If you're gonna make your point strongly, but you don't have to use certain words that you know are gonna offend, right? Because then that gets into other stuff, and people get offended and whatnot. This is an open discussion for everyone to be able to express themselves. In fact, I think on this topic, I might open up the phone lines and let people call in. All right, so I don't know if any one of you had anything else to say, because I'm about ready to open up the phone line to hear some of these people.
I think you should. I think you should.
What you said, Shaltil?
No, I'm always for it, Chief. And I like what you said, as far as we don't get offended, man. It doesn't change the love for each other. And there's a saying that says, hurt people hurt people.
Right.
And so a lot of times when people say things, it's intentional to hurt others. Well, the question then becomes why, but because you're hurt. And if you're hurt, you want to hurt someone else. All of these things are good. And I think you should open the lines. I would like to play some music a little bit first before you do that. But if I may, one last thing I wanted to get to was about all of these examples that we use in whether Samson, King Saul, and Ahithophel, all of these men, took their lives for all total different reasons. And we could look at all of their lives differently to say, well, he did it because of this, or he did it because of that, or he did it because of this. The key that what we need to learn is was it all good or was it all bad? And we have examples to show what we can do to learn from it. And somebody wrote in the chat, I think it was Shama Eliezer, he said, the Most High never said that sin by doing it. We never heard back to say whether taking your own life was wrong or not, whether it was good or bad. We just hear these stories and say this one took it. Even with Ahithophel, and he strangled himself. That was the end of that. Saul fell on the sword. That was the end of that. Samson, he crushed it, and that was the end of that. So there's no real answer to define if it's murder or if not murder. It's good dialogue to give us strength so that we don't succumb to the same things. That's why we have these talks. That's why we read scriptures. That's why we're practicing Israelites. So we don't fall down the same rabbit hole as our forefathers, and we can learn from what they did and utilize our resources that we have today to help us overcome our stress, our mental health issues, and all of these things. Amen.
Well said. And Sister Rhonda, can you repeat that number again?
Yes, absolutely. It's the suicide hotline, but it's also the crisis hotline. So even if you're not feeling suicidal, but you're having other mental health issues, you can call this line as well. It's 1-800-237-8255, or you can just dial 988. And if you're in the United States, there's several services that you can get in your own areas just by calling 311. I'm going to put that in the chat right now.
Hallelujah. So what we're going to do, people, we're going to play a couple of songs, then we're going to open up the lines. Don't forget the topic is committing suicide against Torah. So that number is 347-622-9090. But first, we're going to play a couple of tunes, and we're going to come back to this topic. I promise, Sister Rhonda, we're going to end at 11 tonight. Last week, Sister Rhonda was yawning. That was the first. I'm usually the I'm usually the one falling asleep on the camera.
That was me.
She was yawning last week. She was like,
Yeah,
I'm out of
yeah,
it,
yeah.
I'm tired. So play a couple of tunes and then we'll come back to this topic.
Okay.
New one from Zeb Benyamin.
First and foremost, praise Yah. Shout out to all the children of Yah. Shut up and listen. Yeah. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, shared with the nation. Zeal for all my people, never hating, no mistaking. Tear down my brethren, rather eat a plate of bacon and leave this blessing for a cross, praising family I forsaken. It's not happening. Knowledge and wisdom, the closed captioning. Rationing the truth, ain't the aim like the Vatican. Be adamant, all for the unity and scrutiny. Every chance I get to prophesize an opportunity to wake up the blind, tainting minds of our mishpaka, being proper, low soothsayers in the witch doctors. Spit knowledge, trying to better the cause. Only way to salvation is acknowledging law. Let's get knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We'll do our standing. All praises to the Most High, His laws and commandments. The hot cock Mabina here to push it through your speakers. Judgment, truth, and love should be coming from the leaders. Yeah, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We'll do our standing. All praises to the Most High, His laws and commandments. The hot cock Mabina here to push it through your speakers. Judgment, truth, and love should be coming from the leaders. Yeah, Torah, where your fringes give praises to the Most High. Veer from that new, and that book is the most lies. No ties, we just give donations to the fellowships. Places where you go, head out and go on fellowship. Settlement, that just means the place where you live at. Ignore the holy days, that's a lie. Where you get that? Lies read. A steel tongue makes a wise head. Listen to Yehovah, not what another God said. Timbales for the praises, knowledge for the ages. Steady in the walk, don't stop or be complacent. Don't follow the folly of these nations. Keep the Sabbath, give Yehovah all praises. Read the law and speak truth. Pull yourself up by the roots. Wisdom over wealth, call it love over loot. Replace eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. For our sights on the finish and the mouth for reproof. Let's get knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We'll do our standing. All praises to the Most High, His laws and commandments. The hot cock Mabina here to push it through your speakers. Judgment, truth, and love should be coming from the leaders. Yeah, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We'll do our standing. All praises to the Most High, His laws and commandments. The hot cock Mabina here to push it through your speakers. Judgment, truth, and love should be coming from the leaders. Yeah. Coming from the leaders.
First it's sunny and then it rains. Before you get healed, you feel the pain. With every loss, there comes a gain. We only grow when we change. Nothing in life stays the same. To everything, there's a season and purpose to every time. When y'all ordering your steps, you be perfectly aligned. On the interiors is dirt, but on the surfaces they shine. You can't fix nobody else except the person that's inside. It always helps when you humble, but it hurts when you got pride. A new baby just born, someone's mother just died. It's called the circle of life. We take everything in stride and know for everything that's good, it's always another side. The harsh realities of nights feel like winter in my mind, but when I read the book of Yah, I'm back to the summertime. It's the balance for me, except the blessing with the curse. See, some relationships end, but what's the lesson that you learned? That Yahweh gives and Yah takes away, and all things blessed be the name of Yahweh. Yahweh gives and Yah takes away, and all things blessed be the name of Yahweh. Yahweh gives and Yah takes away, and all things blessed be the name of Yahweh. Yahweh gives and Yah takes away, and all things blessed be the name of Yahweh. A good name's to be chosen, better than precious myrrh. In the day of one's death, it's always better than a birth. Better to go in the house of mourning than in the house of laughing. The heart is better when it go through sadness. Weeping may endure all through the night, but joy comes in the morning, so we look for the light. Just know the adversary gon' send them tests to get you. Always remain patient in spirit, you can't have anger resting with you. Consider the work of God, don't overlook it. Can't make nothing straight if Yahweh make it crooked. Don't get caught up in the times, cause they never last forever. So when adversity come to your door, it's time to consider why the man perished early who was just, so we can live a long life. right. Don't be wise over much, you're too corrupt. It's the balance for me, accept the blessing with the curse. See, some relationships end, but what's the lesson that you learn that? Yahweh gives and Yah takes away, and all things blessed be the name of Yahweh. Yahweh gives and Yah takes away, and all things blessed be the name of Yahweh. Yahweh gives and Yah takes away, and all things blessed be the name of Yahweh. Yahweh gives and Yah takes away, and all things blessed be the name of Yahweh.
Baruch haba Yehovah, hu noten lanu chayim. Bishvil zeh ani noten kavod. Bezaman machala hu rofeh. Bezaman take Cabo, 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 Cabo Lea Ubore, Cabo Lea Ubore, Haaretz ve'hashamayim, ve'hayam gam, ve'kol be'olamo. Baruch haba Yehovah, Baruch haba Yehovah, hu noten lanu chayim.
Where you at, Aaliyah?
Bishvil zeh ani noten kavod. Bezaman machala hu rofeh. Bezaman hara
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Haaretz ve'hashamayim, ve'hayam gam, ve'kol be'olamo. Baruch haba Yehovah, hu noten lanu chayim. Bishvil zeh ani noten kavod.
Vivo unichasadecha Yahweh,
תשועתך כאמרתך, ואענה חורפי דבר, כי בטחתי בדבריך, ואל תזל מפי דבר אמת עדניות, כי למשפטיך ייחלתי, ואשמרה תורתך תמיד לעולם ועד. ויבואוני חסדיך יחווה, תשועתך כאמרתך, ואענה חורפי דבר, כי בטחתי בדבריך, ואל תצל מפי דבר אמת עדניות, כי למשפטיך ייחלתי, ואשמרה תורתך תמיד לעולם ועד. Na 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 na. ויבואוני חסדיך יחווה, תשועתך כאמרתך, ואענה חורפי דבר, כי בטחתי בדבריך, ואל תצל מפי דבר אמת עדניות, כי למשפטיך ייחלתי, ואשמרה תורתך תמיד לעולם ועד. הללויה ממה, הללויה, 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 הללויה. La na 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 na. חסדיך יחווה, תשועתך כאמרתך, ואענה חורפי דבר, כי בטחתי בדבריך, ואל תצל מפי דבר אמת עדניות, כי למשפטיך ייחלתי, ואשמרה תורתך תמיד לעולם ועד. ויבואוני חסדיך יחווה, תשועתך כאמרתך, Hallelujah, hallelujah, Semo vamos, semo tu sing, hallelujah, 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 Moses, come on, baby, se le conoce Manapina. Aleluya, no se conoce. Aleluya, 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 Mose. Aleluya, aleluya, Mose.
Music. Yeah. Wow. They say I don't more shit. So we are deal with them. No fake music, we no sing your gospel. No, we no under no spell. No, we no conjure up spell. We chant your name, cause your name a ring bell. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, true sons of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, sons of the ancients, what the world of marvel, Israel. Music. Lot of mercy. Yeah. Wow. They say I don't more shit. So we are deal with them. No fake music, we no sing your gospel. No, we no under no spell. No, we no conjure up spell. We chant your name, cause your name a ring bell. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, true sons of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, sons of the ancients, what the world of marvel, Israel. Hey, strive with divine and man and prevail. Crush the serpent head and the heel. Left with nothing fish head nor scale. Most of you making now forsake nor feel. Yes, me lion dead head of the trail. This as I am train on the real. No more Jacob face a wax pale. Pop made me not have no fast sale. Neither retail neither wholesale. Real you with him, they want hold me coat tail. Now hesitate to pull them coat tail. Anytime they want come tell me be a tears. When the time for strong up and no time for get frail. Love righteousness cause it never gets stale. Now turn back for fish with our backslide for quail. Yeah we praise with zeal. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, true sons of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, sons of the ancients, what the world of marvel, Israel.
Get them trampling, scope on Babylon while I'm camping. Laws and commandments like a knowledge cause damage. Eating jerk chicken, white rice and fried plantains. Breaking bread with my family, talking about time management. Sitting in traffic, busting combo, playing the Candy Crush. 2 birds with 1 stone to keep adding up. Something for the soul, eucalyptus with the lavender. Pressure bust pipes, paralyzed with the dragon's touch. Sons of the ancient, Israel is God favorites. Cold world, basket robbers, 31 flavors. Connect the dots, roots from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Don't work the Sabbath, every 7th take the pay cut. So much righteousness in my bank, I could never go bankrupt. Euro step, right through the lane, an easy layup. Throw the truth to my haters, it's pursuit for more paper. There's still dirt on my nails, grab the fruits of my labor.
Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, true sons of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, Israel. Trample, Babel, sons of the ancients, what the world of marvel, Israel.
With your skin like you walked out the garden. Such perfection, I beg your pardon. And with such movements, I can see God in.
You're a diamond in the rough, you trust in God is enough.
New heights, you so peaky. From this yoke of old, you come to free me. In such climates, you make it look easy.
Such climate, you make it look easy.
No matter how high you fall, God will be there where you need to catch you.
Yeah.
Though you cater to mind your own goals, you are here to pursue. God helps you amuse me. In your mind, there's some way that go profusely. With God's blessings, you grow to the hill easy.
Your precision is enough, but you're smooth to the touch, like.
You a black queen, black queen. Your essence of the most high. In the peak of your calling, you don't shine. You a black queen, black queen. You're hurting, but you won't cry. Keep your crown on, you represent my strong side. Oh, black queen, black. Oh, Black Queen. Though you tear on the regular, you not forsake the Lord or his messenger. You always take a more than you're letting up. Me try to take a more, but you tell me no. Yeah, yeah. No Queen Sheba, me such a queen that remind me of my Ima. Like Sephora, you save me from your fever. And in your state, you walk like a diva. Your smile is enough. Push me through the day when the road getting tough. Yeah, I set a course cause I Eve to be rough. Your desire in my eyes when I'm bruised when we fuss. Your clothes with your words like a fresh glass of Mayim or a branch to a bird. Your pride of a lion, but you cater to my words. When I fall short, but yeah, your counsel always hurt. Yeah, yeah. You a black queen, black queen. Your essence of the most high. In the peak of your calling, you don't shine. You a black queen, black queen. You're hurting, but you won't cry. Keep your crown on your represent my strong side. Oh. Oh, black queen. Black queen. Black queen. As the mother of all living, here's your chance. In the presence of an angel, Yah has blessed you in his stead. Hold my hand as we walking through the garden of his land. Yah embrace us and we'll raise you beyond the meadows where you stand.
That's the one right there, Chief.
Yeah,
That was the one right there.
I just heard that for the first time today. There's a lot of music out there, but I be afraid of the music because a lot of people are messianic, and I don't want them to sneak that. Then everybody be coming at me. So I need the music that's. I need the music.
You don't want them to go up. You don't want them to go up there and be like the sun, the sun, the sun, the sun.
That's true.
Yo, Israelites is the worst. Like you, yo, I'll make a mistake. If I make a mistake, I'll be the whole talk of the services the next day, then in the mornings.
Or you, especially if one of the songs be like the sun, the sun.
I'll be finished around this town. Next week will be
Finito.
like half of the people listening. That brother be playing Christian
but I'm talking
music.
about the sun. But I'm talking about the sun. No, the sun.
That tune is by Sister Malka Norwood. It's called Great Is Yah. So just trying to label this. I'm gonna download some more of her music. And all right, don't forget this coming Yom Rishon, this coming Sunday, there's gonna be a concert, a virtual concert with different performers, music to the Most High God, in efforts to try to get the education committee in terms of try to get certain things done for the community. I don't want to get into the business aspect of it, but there's going to be a concert this Sunday. If somebody has the information, or whoever's on that has the information, please put it on the chat so that people will be able to know what to log into on Sunday. I believe there's a fee to get in. So please just help out the brothers and sisters who are collaborating in this and trying to do this. So please, whoever is part of this, please put the information as to how people could get on Sunday. It's going to be from midday, from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., all right? It's going to be a lot of great performances. You don't want to miss it. I'm even doing my little DJ bit for a second, and going to be a lot of good live performances.
So before we go to the phone lines, I was thinking during this music break.
Okay.
And when we look back at, our parents, our grandparents, and a lot of us know our great-grandparents, when I'm thinking of mine,
trauma,
slaves and sharecroppers in Alabama, and to me, those times seem like they were like I have it way better than they had it. But why is there such an influx of like a high count of Black people committing suicide now as opposed to back then, when it seems like we have it easier, per se, now than we did back then?
That's a good question. Have you seen, there's this new thing going around on IG and TikTok about when your parents told you in the 70s, if you was a 70s baby and your parents said, throw this in the garbage, and you went and did it. Then the 90s babies, when they told them, throw this in the garbage. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
They go from decade to decade. The parents tell the same child, throw this in the garbage. The 80s baby, or 70s, I forget when it started, they just went and threw it in the garbage. 90s baby, they asked the question, you want me to do it right now? The millennium baby, the 2000 baby was like, why do I have to do it? And then the Generation Z, whatever this new generation is, went through a whole big influx. Oh my gosh, I got a lot going on. You want me to take the trash out? And I got to do this, and I got to do that. And it was like this whole big thing. And it's funny because you can see over time how, I don't know what's changed, but but you can see over time how the response has changed. And you ask what makes it so now, why people are more, wanting to commit suicide. And it's just that thing. It's the overwhelmingness. I think we've gotten to a point where with technology has made us so lazy that everything has become so easy that we don't know how or don't want to put the time or the work in for anything good. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We took pride in, I knitted this thing from scratch. We took pride in the work that we did growing up. Whether you talk about back then, it doesn't matter. Versus how easy it is to accomplish things now. I heard a teacher, I forget which platform I was watching, but they talk about how our children lost critical thinking. We don't even have critical thinking anymore, because when you go to the store, instead of trying to figure out what could supplement, we just text or take a picture and call. It's so easy to be like, they don't have it, I don't know what to do. And so I don't know if it's the technology that's changed it to make us that way, but you can see it in a variety of ways, whether it's school, education, work. It's just life has become so easy that we don't want to take time to do the work. And I think that aids into, it's so easy to just commit suicide. It's so easy to just give up. It's so easy to quit. But even with marriage, when you look at people who's been married 50, 60 years, they went through the storm and back. Whereas you go through one thing in a relationship and you're ready to give up. Oh, I don't have to take this. I'll find someone who could love me for who. Like, we go through it in so many aspects of our life where it's just easy to give up. And that is what I think happened over the time. We try to make things easy, and it's just easy for us to quit. I don't know.
I agree. I agree with that. I do. I agree with that. It just seems like I think I don't know if I heard my grandmother say this or she quoted this out of the New Testament or something. But she was saying that every generation gets weaker and wiser, spiritually to God, but wiser to the world.
We have our first caller.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is Shalom Shalom. This is Deborah Mack. Shalom, Deborah.
Shalom, Deborah.
You know I couldn't hold back.
I know. This is a hot topic, so we need the cause. Let's go.
Oh, you ready? I can speak?
Yeah, you can speak. You're on live.
Okay, what in the whole suicide thing, to segue over to where we are now, I posted a comment that in the past 3 years, our lives have changed dramatically going through a pandemic. When I first started doing law, I met Israelites who were born in a way who didn't think Israelites died. You know, they were grown and had not lost anyone in their families. So now, over the past 3 years, we've either seen people die. It was less than 6 degrees of separation. Somebody right next to you experienced somebody die in this pandemic from one cause or another. And it's just hitting us as this maelstrom and overloading our psyche. That, life is becoming real. We read about our ancestors and what they went through, but now we are living through some things that can be akin to what they went through. And we are just not built like they were in that time.
Right.
You know, we got people dying in their 20s and 30s where they lived 100 plus years. We just not that strong, and we need these outlets. Whether it's the music, it's the prayer, you got two friends you can talk to, maybe because you can relate or they can relate as opposed to a professional. But we need all those outlets. Maybe you can journal, write things out. We have to come to terms with the things that the Most High is doing, because we understand it. We may fare better than some of our counterparts because we know the Most High and where this is coming from. It doesn't make it any easier. When it hits you personally, as Rhonda stated about her sister, I literally watched my Ish die. And there's probably not a day that doesn't hit in my mind again. Right. And, you have a moment, and you've got to have an outlet to pull you out of that moment, or you will go left. You will take yourself there. So that's where the spirit and the strength of the Most High comes in. For whatever reason he does whatever he does, we have to acknowledge that, accept that, and then be grateful that we are still here to hopefully make some type of difference. So if you are that person, sometimes you just need to send a wellness check to somebody you haven't heard from or about, and just say, sis, brother, are you okay? I called somebody yesterday and I was like, they're like, you need something? No, I'm just calling to see how you are. And the person was like, wow, because we don't do that.
Right.
We don't do that for one another. So we need each other more than ever. The pandemic did bring us more together because it was devastation that brought us. And we have to also realize that people in other countries live like this. They live through war. They live through famine. Like today, someone said to me today, I didn't know there was still a war in the Ukraine, because this is not, our lives have been so easy in comparison. And we've got to change our whole thought process and the way we do things in order to survive and be great.
Hallelujah.
That's pretty much it.
Agreed.
I think what Sister Deborah said is so important in terms of sometimes you need some adversity to galvanize us. We don't have real adversities that galvanize us. Like she just mentioned in the Ukraine, a war will bring you together. And when you see your land is being destroyed, and you have a common thing that you could fight for. Maybe that's what our ancestors, why their rate of suicide wasn't as high, because although they were being oppressed, they knew that if they stuck together, that they could overcome eventually. The initial journey, there was a lot of suicide on that transatlantic slave trade, because you have documentation of people jumping overboard. They'll rather drown or let the sharks or whatever eat them, rather than come and be captives in a land, that's foreign onto them. So what she said, there were a lot of valid points in terms of the pandemic, seeing a lot of people dying, a lot of Israelites dying. A lot of Israelites died in that period of time. And it's a mental overload and a mental stress that you can't take. So it's it's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And I knew this topic was going to go into something else. I knew it wasn't going to stay because people have a lot on their mind. So when we chose this topic, it was with the idea of what happened to the DJ and why would he take his life. But I knew that within our community itself, we have a lot of people that's going through mental trauma. But I will give this bit of advice. I have a brother that's a friend, that's a really good friend, right? And I don't tell everything to everyone, but when I speak to this brother, I could speak freely. So he is my therapist.
Nice.
I could say that. He is my therapist, and I could talk to him, and I could get everything off, and that's how it is. So we have getting another call here from Pennsylvania. Shalom, shalom. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ron Shabbat.
Hey, how you doing, Ron?
I'm good.
All right.
One testimony I'll give on the subject is one, I want to say Torah Rabbah, or praise to the Most High Yah for you giving an ear to my situation.
Okay.
When I was speaking on it. That certainly helps in situations where a person is very down in the spirit, having somebody to really talk to, even vent to if necessary. It wasn't meant to be a venting situation. It was really meant to be explanatory, but obviously that, spilled over or what have you. Right. One thing I will say in certain situations, Yah's judgment is very real. Yah's judgment is extremely real. Obviously, we know that because we accept being Israelites based on the judgment that we have experienced in this land. Okay, we recognize that this is Yah's judgment on us for what our forefathers brought upon us. Yah's judgment is real. What you do can and will affect not just you, obviously, but your family, friends, and loved ones, and your children's children's children. So to avoid situations where you will find yourself in a position to, want to take your own life or what have you, following law, statutes, commandments, and doing certain things is very, very important. You don't want to bring Yah's judgment down on you because he's not going to have mercy on you. He's not going to have pity on you. He's not going to do it when you bring his judgment on you. And it will force you into a position that you may want to take your own life. So you definitely want to watch how you carry yourself and things of that nature, because when Yah's judgment does come on you, he's not going to have pity on you. And grief is one of the worst judgments that he'll put on you, is grief. Okay? In my situation, I made a vow to the Most High, and I broke that vow. And I was in fear of his judgment coming upon me. And I'll be honest, those thoughts did cross my mind. However, I am a person who does believe in life after death, okay, or what, whatever that entails. I have no idea exactly what that entails, but I also believe that if you do take your own life, that's going to fall on, your family members, children, people around you. That judgment is going to come one way or another. So that's also something to heavily consider. But, if you do make a commitment to Yah, fulfill it. And also, watch how you carry yourself. Watch the things you do, even in this world that's full of wickedness and temptation, etc. Judgment is constant. He's constantly watching. He's constantly judging. And again, grief, one of the most horrific things that people can deal with. That's one of the most horrific judgments one can deal with is grief. When people get incarcerated and things of that nature, what is upon them? Grief. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring that upon yourself or upon your children or family members being wicked. You know, I know that's easier said than done, but you want to think ahead. You want to consider these things. You don't want to find yourself in a position where taking your own life is optional, because obviously that's when grief has, you know, put more weight on you than what you can handle.
Hallelujah. Torah.
Hallelujah.
Well said.
Very well said. Very well said.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I know this topic has grown into something different, but I think we need it. Sister Rhonda, if you can, please put that number back up there for those who might be having problems that might not be able to talk to just a brother or a sister. If you get a chance, please put it on the chat.
Will
The
do.
number of the suicide hotline. And you know, Torah, I think there is something to us serving the Creator that stops us from doing harm to ourselves. I don't think that we don't go through depression. I think we go through depression, and some of us might. I've heard people say that those thoughts have crossed through your mind, but we always think about the Most High, and I think that there is something to that, and we must be thankful to the Creator that we have the opportunity to think about Him before we do things that might harm us, and not only us but our family, because in the long run our families suffer also. If we, because your mother's going to suffer, because she's going to think to herself, what did I miss? What didn't I see? Especially in those cases where people take their lives, they don't leave a note, they don't leave an explanation, they don't leave anything. It's just a straight suicide. I think it's just a moment of being rash, a moment of imbalance, and a lot of people do that. Now you have the people that is well taught out. They leave notes, they leave things in order, they leave things in place, and they said, this is this, this is that, I just can't take it anymore. And that's that. So I know the topic is whether or not it's against Torah to take your life, or whether suicide is murder. Taking your life is murder. I tend to believe that it is. Just to get back to the topic, I tend to believe that it is, and I think that is against the Torah of the Most High. But if we've gone past that, I don't think most people disagree with that. But I think that, and some people might disagree with that, but I do think that that we've gone past that, and we're talking more about our mental health and the things that we go through and how we could help each other become better.
And let's not forget, when we're talking about our mental health, that our physical affects our mental, and our mental affects our physical and spiritual.
Absolutely.
And everything.
Absolutely.
So we definitely need to look at ourselves physically and go to the doctor, not just for our mental, but physically. Like, there's could be other things going on. You work out a lot. You know how good it feels after a workout, how refreshing that is, and how you just get your mind, got a jolt in your body, and it kind of shakes you up. We don't do that much anymore. We don't do a lot of, New York, we do a lot of walking, but we're yelling at people while we're walking. So it's always stressful walking around New York or getting on the trains or whatever. But we need to just talk about our physical health as well, and how that does affect our mental, and what we put in our bodies, and what we're eating, and all of that. It all plays a part. So just wanted to add that.
Absolutely. Well, Shaltiel, he disappeared. I think he ran out of words.
Nah,
he ain't gonna run out of words.
Me run out of words?
I think we in agreement. So he don't have no combativeness today. Tonight is just we giving advice, we giving good words, we giving scriptures. Right. When you get a chance, run those scriptures again if you get a chance. Shout out to you.
Absolutely. I was just taking in the wisdom, man. When you hear people tell their personal experiences, it's kind of humbling. So my thoughts and prayers to Ima Deborah, Dora Deborah, one thing she said that stuck with me, that was like, that pandemic, man, that quarantine smacked us.
Absolutely.
And it didn't even smack us during it. I think a lot of us, well, my family affected it after, right? Well, we watched everybody else go through their trials and mourning. A lot of us on my side felt it afterwards. Sometimes we feel like we're untouched from those things, but that did weigh heavy on our spirits.
It did.
So that was a thing. And then a brother Ron Shabbat, I mean, he gave his testimony. Those things helped me, man, because that lets you know you're not alone in this journey. Sometimes we feel like you don't know my pain or you don't know what I'm going through, but we all have similar struggles, just different ways, you know? So I was just listening, man. I'm taking it all in, you know? I don't have all the answers, and a lot of the wisdom was helping me. So that's why I was quiet.
Yeah,
and I'm listening to my boy Shem is in the chat.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Shem.
Shout out to Shem. We saw Shem in the chat.
Hallelujah.
We do have time for maybe one, maybe two more calls.
Yes. Sister Rhonda's going to shut this down at 11 p.m. Eastern time for show.
You hear that, right? We have time for one or two, maybe. And then it's a wrap.
She said enough is enough. So yeah, we even if we don't have calls, I just want to say, you know, it's important to have the Most High. I think that's important for us. I think that's why we don't see like suicides within our, not that I know of, within our community, because we have a faith in the Creator, and I think that plays a part in it. It might not give you all the answers like 100%, but it does give you some sense of you're doing something, you're looking forward to something, you know. Believe it or not, that looking forward to the Shabbat day, if you really enjoy the Shabbat day, if you enjoyed the holy days, looking forward to that, even if you had a stressful week or a depressing week, if you could come out and you could enjoy yourself and you look forward to that enjoyment, man, that's a blessing, because that's a renewal of spirit. Yeah. That's a renewal of spirit. Sometimes you be down, man. I be down the whole week. I come to the Shabbat, the little babies, the young kids, they bring like something to you, and they renew your spirit, and you know you have to carry on for them, and you have to do things for them to leave them in a good position and in a good place.
And don't forget, before COVID, we was all meeting out. And like you said, we were all at the camp. We were all congregating. And now, since we got this new Zoom thing, a lot of people, like, we really need to think about that. We need to get out and we need to get back into our congregations and get back into the camps and start doing what we were doing before, because we need each other.
Normalcy.
And Zoom is nice, was nice during COVID, during that time, because we needed it, but we need to be back out. We need to be back out at our camps.
Yep.
Slika, Zoom is nice right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
I'm loving
you're
this.
Different. You're different.
On the West Coast, I still got access. This is beautiful. This is love for me. This thing changed my whole sabbatical life. Let me tell you something, honey. I love this YouTube on Shabbat where I can scroll from channel to channel in my pajamas. Listen, I don't know about you, but I know, but it is important to get out the services.
We need this Shabbat night talk. We need this on Zoom and everything. But we know if you can go out to your congregation with your congregation on Shabbat, we should do it.
Let me tell you something. I was there before everybody had to be there. I was there after everybody left Shabbat. Let me tell you, and it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people that I never thought I could be home on Shabbat. I used to hate staying home on Shabbat. I couldn't do it. But now, with YouTube Live and all of these congregations on YouTube, I think it's the best thing in the world. I used to think it was too much trouble to get up. Listen, we work hard 6 days a week. Shabbat, I was a big believer that I should rest. And to get to services at 9, 10 in the morning and fall asleep during services, I thought was even more sinful than not going.
Okay.
So I love this YouTube Shabbat. And don't stop it.
Like during the pandemic, they had the students that thrived at home. They weren't good students in school, but at home they were like excellent students. And then you had the ones that were excellent students in the schools, but then they, when they started doing the whole Zoom thing, they fell off. He's just one of those that's thriving at home.
Yeah, he's thriving. Thriving. That's all right, though.
My kids learn more at home than they do at any service.
But I think it's important. I think especially for the elders, a lot of elders got gripped with fear. They still living in fear. And you can't blame them. The way that, a brother said something to me that was very important. He said that the media has programmed us to talk about what they want us to talk about. Like this whole topic today was controlled by the media because they talked about DJ Twitch, and that's how the topic of suicide came up. So it's like the media controls our thoughts, our emotions, what's happening around us, our fears, our anxieties, everything. What you see on the media is what controls that. And we need to kind of get out and be around each other to be able to kind of formulate our own ideas, our thoughts. When you sit at home by yourself, remember, it's you and yourself and maybe your significant other. You don't get to formulate ideas or get to have that time together with other people to be able to present your ideas, and then someone rebuttal it and tell you, nah, man, that don't go like that. Or, you know what I mean? That think about it this way or think about it that way. But when you're at home, you just basically on your own, leaning on your own understanding. So that I think the social part of it is important. Humans were made to be social. That's why it tells us on the seventh day you have a holy convocation, right? And even on the holy days you have a holy convocation. You have a holy gathering. So I think those things are important. It was done for a reason. It was done for us to stimulate our minds to be able to have conversation. That's why we create a platform like this. I know some people think that the Shabbat day is just it's not to have like any type of discussions. That's why these discussions, we connect them with Torah, but it's also talking about real issues, because these are real issues that we're having within our communities, right? And we have to talk about them. This is just a family gathering, and we talking about issues, and we're still relating them to Torah, and we putting them together with Torah. And these are conversations that we need to have. How can we help each other out? How can we do things to better one another? These are all the topics and the conversations that we need to have in order to make ourselves better. So I see we got 2 minutes left. Y'all got any parting words? Yes, there will be a Unity Shabbat 2023.
Yes, it will. I thought Shah had a scripture for us that in our final thought.
Yeah, I was gonna I'll give it out. I was just actually writing them down to put it in the chat, but my final thoughts is Shabbat Shalom. Peace be unto you all. No, seriously, just peace, man. I think we overlook that word peace, man. I pray for peace, yo. Like, I without everything else, peace. I want peace in my home, peace in my life, and so that is my final thought. Just peace be unto you all. But some of the scriptures that I have to help overcome stress or to help deal with stress, the Most High gives us strength in these words. Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, chapter 12, verses 1 through 6. The book of Isaiah, chapter 25, verses 1 through 5. The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verses 18 through 26. These are all kind of like words of encouragement. Again, I like chapters 40, 41, 42, 43. Just read all of those, all of them chapters. We have Psalms 85, verses 9 through 14. Psalms 138, verses 4 through 8. This other one I got from First Samuel, which was kind of random when I found it, but it made sense. First Samuel chapter 2, verses 6 through 10. This was during Hannah's prayer. Sister Hannah, she had said a prayer to the Most High, and that's what that chapter is. In those verses 6 through 10, you can hear words of how the Most High helps us overcome failure or certain things that we might put ourselves down on, because we are our own worst critics. And of course, Deuteronomy chapters 5, verses 25 through 30. That one helps me because it gives me purpose of living. You know, as a Hebrew Israelite, it was always like, what am I doing this for? But chapter 5, verse 25 lets you know, man, your purpose and the reason why we strive for righteousness and why we sacrifice so much in this society, why we're labeled differently, and all of these things, that gives you strength about our future. Chapter 5, verses 25 through 30. So those are just a few precepts to help overcome. And you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like tomorrow, you can't see tomorrow. And it's just like you don't know what to do with life. We don't promote suicide. The conversation if suicide is murder is one thing, but that's not something that we promote. We promote positive and strengthened health. There's always a way out. You're never down so much where you can't get out. So we promote good health, positive thoughts to help us get out. And that my brother's keepers thing is real. I know we're scattered, different states, different cities, and some of us might believe in different parts of the Torah differently, but we still have each other. And I think that's the part of unity that we overlook. We, like you said, man, I could call him, he could call me. Well, I do call him sometimes and vent, and he'll listen. I have other brothers that I call, and that's what we for. That's what we're here for. So we have the support system that we need. We have it. That you need, we do have it. And that's what brings us closer together. So God is great, man, and he wants to see us succeed. We have to know that too. The Most High wants to see us succeed. The Most High does not set us up for failure. He doesn't put you in a situation that's too hard. Like my brother Ron Shabbat said, sometimes we cause our own grief because we don't hold up our end of the bargain on our words and our actions and things. So, but even in your grief, it's still not too much for you to handle. Your grief is just so that you could acknowledge the Creator and realize you fell off path. So just stay strong, man. The Most High is real. He loves us and he wants us to succeed. And we are our brother's keeper. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So I just want to, before we leave, it was a very important point that Sister Nishlaki, I had to go back and look for it. Yisrael Naftali wrote, she said, unfortunately, some mental illness is inherited, passed down from one generation to the next. Many people don't or can't see that they're ill. Give thanks if you've been able to recognize a problem. And I think that's important. Sometimes it is passed down. The trauma and the illness is passed down. So thank you all once again. Sister Rhonda, you have any closing words?
Well, I just wanted to, that these discussions every Friday night, Shabbat, are therapeutic for our community. And I'm thankful to be a part of them. I'm thankful to help get some of our, be able to just talk about some of our community issues, but I do think it's therapeutic. I do think our family likes this. So I'm looking forward to how we can just, continue to bring topics that we can all discuss freely, because maybe we couldn't do that in any other platform. So I'm thankful for that.
Hallelujah. So you also suggested to me to have like a Facebook page, or I don't know, Facebook, Instagram, something where the conversation could continue.
Yeah. And we can get other ideas from, for our next week's discussion. But I do think we can take that and we can have scripture on there. We can just, keep it going through the week, because I do think that this is therapy as well.
Okay, so if you feel like creating
Like,
one,
do
you
it,
go
Rhonda.
ahead and do. Yeah, you could go ahead and do it, and then you could give us some admin control, and then that way we go in there and help out and do whatever it is that we have to do.
I'll start working on it this week.
Hallelujah. So thank you all once again. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna cut it off this week. And we say Torah Yah, and we thank all of you once again for joining us. May the Most High God bless each and every one of you. Shalom, shalom. Hallelujah. Shalom. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom, family. Bye.
Shalom, shalom. Lala Tov.
Lala Tov.